This is the most XP I've ever seen from a single game of Halo, and it was achieved by setting up a newly discovered XP farm that can earn upwards of 30,000 score per game. That's close to 1,000 score per minute. Without knowing exactly how to get there, you might not be able to pull it off, but that's going to change right now. Well, I learned some more secrets. I can actually turn this into an XP farm. It's an XP farm so good that it's actually some of the highest individual scores that I've ever seen from a single game of Halo Infinite. Actually, doing the method is not that hard, but you have to accomplish 3 specific steps in order to get there. My name is Slick. I've been playing Halo for 20 years, and my great journey is to prove to everyone how great Halo can be. Let's get into it. You can actually follow the strategy in the last video to a T, and it will get you to a good spot to start setting up for the farm. If you don't want to watch that video, I can actually just give you a quick summary. So early game strategy is you don't buy anything except ammo while you upgrade your damage perk. Once done with damage, then you want to get to level 2 on health. Once you get to level 2 in health, you want to buy a Bulldog and then complete the health perk when your points allow. Send your max health, max damage with a Bulldog. And you also want an AR, so drop your pistol for the Bulldog. Once that's done, then you complete the speed perk. And then once your speed perk's done, you're going to go buy a disruptor off the wall and pack-a-punch it until you get the skewer or shotgun upgrades on it. In the video, I say skewer, shotgun upgrade works pretty well too. If you need more detail on that, you can watch the video. You know, I really appreciate the support if you guys go watch that. So theoretically, like around 10 to 12 at this point, and now you can start setting up the farm. First things first, you need to acquire one of 2 guns. So you need to either get yourself a pulse carbine or a heat wave from the mystery box. The reason why you can do either or is because they're both really good at this portion of the game. But for the late game, the preference is definitely going to be the heat wave. In fact, the heat wave is essential to unlock the farm situation. The reason why it's okay to have both is because both are really strong when upgraded. Pulse carbine, when you upgrade it, you want to either get the heat wave perk or the shotgun perk. Basically allows the pulse carbine to fire just shotgun pellets like a Bulldog, but at a rapid fire rate that a normal pulse carbine would. And the heat wave perk is also really good, but it also has the risk to give you self damage. By itself, it's terrible, but when you upgrade, it's pretty good. Now the heat wave thing is critical. If you get a heat wave, what you're going to want to do is upgrade that to have the shock rifle perk. Essentially, I call that the shock wave, because it's pretty damn good. In fact, it's the most overpowered weapon in this game type. You see, with the shock perk on the heat wave, it actually creates a very unique condition that is essential to the farm. So with the shock perk, it does insane damage. It links between enemies, just like a shock rifle would. So that's static, collection, whatever chain. And then most importantly, it stuns them in the later rounds. So when you're shooting it, they can actually, instead of dying, they'll just get stunned and freeze up together. You can kind of see where this is going. So how do you get it? You need to go to the mystery box and spend 300 credits until you pick up one of the items. It's pretty simple. That's why you need to get set up with the whole early portion of the game so that you're set up so you have enough income basically to support this bad spending habit. Sometimes you get the heat wave right away. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. Sometimes it takes forever. Sometimes you just don't get it. And that's the unfortunate reality of the situation. So you need to make sure that you're taking advantage of bonus point buys, make sure that you're constantly earning score, and also make sure that you always have like 2,500 sitting in the bank. So that way, you know, you always have some money to upgrade if you get like a trash weapon and you need to get out of a bind. I would say this is like the most complicated part of the grind to get the farm set up. Luckily, at this stage of the game, you're probably kitted. You know, you have at least one upgraded weapon. You're one-shotting enemies running around the map. This should give you enough time to actually start bankrolling. Around this time as well, like your teammates will die too much and quit out. This is a good spot for you to start earning some serious XP. After you have the pulse carbine or the heat wave upgraded and set up, next thing you want to do, step number 2, is do the other part of that. If you got the pulse carbine in step 1, now you want the heat wave in step 2. If you got the heat wave in step 1, now you also need a heat wave in step 2. Either way, you're going to need a heat wave at this point. If you have 2 heat waves, that's the most ideal condition because you can get them both upgraded to have the shock perk, and then you're absolutely shredding. It's probably the #1 condition you need in order to go to like 100k plus score, which you can totally do with this setup. So once again, to get to step 3, you're going to need to have either 1 heat wave or 2 heat waves and a pulse carbine upgraded. Okay, now that you have both of those weapons, you're ready to set up the actual farm aspect. Now you need to listen carefully because these specific rules you'll need to follow, otherwise you're going to mess this up. If you do it right, you'll get 1,000 score per minute. So it sounds like a pretty good trade-off. First critical thing is you need to stack as many enemies as possible to shockwave them all in a pile. You'll then specifically shoot 1 shockwave shot to stun, and then you'll swap to your secondary to actually do big damage. You can do this consistently until you die, until you make over 100k XP, as long as possible, as long as you don't die to something like Escharum, which I'll get to later. At some point, Brute Chieftain enemies will be everywhere and they won't die in one shot. Over time, they'll only be killable via shockwave shots, so you're just gonna need ammo. The second part of this is that you always need to be standing near the ammo box. You're gonna run out of ammo pretty quickly, especially once the enemies are more plentiful and they're all over the place. You're gonna have to just start ripping shots constantly. You need to be close to the ammo box in order to pick it up. In addition to that, you're gonna need to be a little bit more still and stagnant, because if you're running around the map like absolute insanity, then it's gonna be harder for you to actually slow down, get the enemies in a big pile, and also get the ammo crate at the same time. So kind of stay relatively slow, stay near the ammo box, and that's essential to this second part. You can't really stress about dying at this stage, because the beauty of the shockwave, the shock rifle heat wave, is that when you're at level 4 health, you're actually leeching shields back onto yourself, and it does the most amount of leech with this weapon. This means that you will eventually get to a point where you're just firing off shockwave shots and your shields are fully OS'd up. Third critical step is you do not, under any condition, do not grab instant kill drops. As soon as you pick those up, it actually reduces the health of all of the enemies in your proximity, meaning that the level 4 health benefit you have of the shockwave that I just mentioned actually goes away. And so you're not gaining as much shields back when you're getting kills, thus resulting in you dying much more quickly, and sometimes like almost instantly if you have enough like camo elites, Jaga or Dumnai bosses on you, just slashing you with energy swords. Last part here is definitely the most critical of them all. As I mentioned earlier, Escharam is the only reason you're gonna lose the run. It's the only reason you're gonna die, in my opinion. At some point you get into such a flow state where you're just like sitting there, you're killing, you're swapping between your guns, you're just like cruising and the farm is just farming and everything's great, but then you'll have like 2 or 3 Escherams spawn in and they'll come at you with their giant shields, and like all kinds of bad things can happen. Number one is the shields actually don't give you any leech benefit. Once again, your level 4 health thing isn't going to be helping you out anymore if you're shooting Escharam. You're going to be shooting the shields will deplete, but you won't actually be getting these shields back yourself. So it actually hurts you to shoot Escharam versus anyone else. Additionally, you'll sometimes get a black eye skull. When you get that skull on, you can only recharge your shields via melees, which makes it extra complicated. Normally it's fine if you've got 500 enemies on top of you, just punch them, get your shields back. But when you punch Escharam's shield, you actually don't get that black eye benefit. You don't get the shields recharged. So keep that in mind. The best way to kill Escharam is actually to wait until the nuke drop happens, which will happen so frequently at this point in the game. You know, you're so alive, you're like wave 20 plus. You're gonna get nukes every single round, maybe multiple times a round. A nuke will actually kill Escharam. If you try to proc it, like you save it till the end of one round and start at the next round, it won't actually kill him right away. So you always need to like get a nuke in the middle of the round, make sure that you're running away from Escharam. It's like the only reason why you shouldn't be holding still. And then you just like get the nuke and Escharam will die. So just use that to your advantage. And that's the farm. Basically, if you got all those things set up, you got the heat wave, you got a pulse carbine, you got 2 heat waves, you're basically cruising. You watch out for your Escherams, you don't get insta kill, you'll be absolutely farming. You will be getting so much XP, it's insane. One example I have of this, like I was able to do this for a while, just for a video, and it got around like 30k XP for about 30 minutes, so that equates to about 1000 XP per minute, which is just really, really good. There's nothing, not even, what's it called, Thunderbolt? Not even Thunderbolt or Super Husky Raid can compete with that. It's just really, really good for you. You'll get some serious XP off of doing this. I even saw a guy on Twitter get like 400k off of one game, which is just insane. I don't know how long he played for that. Theoretically, that's like what, 400 minutes? So many hours. He got to like round 70 or something. So you can actually just keep this going over and over and over again until you actually get all that XP. And then you just quit out when you want to or die when you want to get that solidified. If you guys found this video helpful, consider subscribing. It really helps me out. It helps us push the great journey along, you know what I'm saying? And I'll continue to upload these Halo guides as long as I can. You know, the next Halo game is right around the corner. If you guys like this content, do me a favor, help me out. Really appreciate you guys. Once again, my name is Slick. We'll see you guys next time.